Should you use the fast or the thinking model in your AI platform? I've been asked this exact question so many times, whether it be Grok, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, any of them. Let's get this straight once and for all. Now, if you have an AI subscription, as I have to most AI apps, you're probably going to be able to select which model you want to talk to. You'll have two options here, the instant or the fast model and a thinking model. And normally you'll also have an auto mode, which decides which model best suits your use case. So right off the bat, there's really no correct answer to all use cases. This is really going to depend on exactly what your use case is. And the short answer is, if you want something that's conversational and fun, go with the fast model. And if you're doing something scientific or precise, go with the thinking model. Now, let me show you exactly what I mean. I'm over here inside of ChatGPT, and typically if you don't pay or if you do have a paid subscription, the default setting is going to be the auto mode. But we do have two possible models we can select. Here it's instant and thinking. And if I go into the Gemini app, I'll have the same selection available for me. I'll have the fast and the thinking models. If I go into Claude, I'll have the same option as well. If I don't click this button, it's a fast model. And if I do, I have a thinking button. Same goes for Grok. Same goes for everything. All of these models typically have a fast and a thinking version. And this is really going to be tailored to exactly what you want to do. Let's see what each mode can give us. And we're going to start off with the fast version, or in ChatGPT, the instant version. Give me 20 ideas of a fun activity I can do with my spouse. And ChatGPT is going to very quickly give me an answer. As you can see, it's already spitting out all these different ideas. So these are kind of generic and they're not exactly tailored to what I want. The nice thing about a conversational and the instant models is we can correct them as we go. It's kind of more of an interaction. We can go back and forth many times, and it's kind of nice. Let's give it a correction. We'll say, actually, she likes more outdoors activities. And now we'll see it's going to start focusing things down and taking in my feedback and giving me really things that are better tailored for my exact use case. Next, I want to give you a few more example use cases about when you might consider using a fast or an instant model. Give me 20 ideas for blog posts that I should write about using AI in marketing. If you're, for example, in healthcare, you have, for example, some video you want to publish. You can ask it to help you run through the process and give me 20 ideas for a title of a video using AI in healthcare. What does it mean for a moon to actually orbit a planet? I get these kind of nice visualizations, and even it asks me if I want to follow up on more questions. If you have, for example, a business meeting, a client that you don't know how to talk with this kind of client, for example, help me prepare for a sales meeting with someone who is a farmer. I personally don't know many people like this, and this AI can help me simulate these conversations and help me prepare and come much more focused towards this meeting. I can use something called Socratic prompting, where I'd want the AI to ask me questions in situations where I want to learn about a topic or in situations where I don't really understand something very well. So I can tell it, help me better understand this thing called vibe coding. And it'll give me just kind of some general information. I can ask it specifically, let's follow up on this thing. Can you elaborate on this section? And we can kind of have this back and forth interaction with the AI. And it's really going to be kind of this fun interactive experience for me. Or if you're creating custom GPTs or custom AI applications, you're going to want these fast models to get that kind of interaction and fun flow with the AI. However, there are some issues. So next, let's take a look at what are the pitfalls of these fast models and why you might want to use a thinking model for your use case. Let's try to ask it a more precise question. How much money would I have if I invested $100 each month in the S&P 500 stock. And note that I'm asking this question to an instant model, even though this sort of feels like a math question, right? It sort of feels like a mathematical question. However, if we look at what the AI gave us, it's not plugging anything into a mathematical equation. Overall, it's starting to give us answers, and it's giving us these kind of wishy-washy answers, not very precise things. You see, it's giving us kind of a big range of numbers, and I didn't see any equation here, even though this question feels like it needs some more precise calculations. So what we're going to do now is we'll start a new chat. I'm going to ask the exact same question, but now I'm going to ask a thinking model. Now, thinking models are good for everything that's precise, and this is a question where we want a precise answer. So if I ask it, you'll note that it's not giving me an answer yet. First of all, it's going to start thinking. It's going to start thinking before it gives me an answer. It's saying, let's first take a look at what the user wants, what my question actually is, and what I'm going to need to give them a good answer. So you can see it's going out to the web, it's searching, it's getting some information about the S&P 500. It went through 39 sources, which I think is too much. But the important thing is that the way it worked, it used precision. It used precision tools such as basing itself on actual sources, such as creating and running its own code. And at the end of the day, we get some very precise numbers. So this took 30 seconds. If we would have this 30-second delay in every single interaction, it might not be very fun. However, if you invest properly in your prompt and you do have a very precise kind of task, usually the answer you'll get right off the bat will already be very good, and you might not need another interaction. You might want to give it maybe one or two more prompts to kind of get it a little bit closer to what you want. But the main thing is, if you're doing anything precise, anything mathematical, anything scientific, anything that requires skill, in these situations, you usually would want to sacrifice speed for precision. Next, I want to show you a few examples about when you would want to use a thinking model. I can ask it to write code, and usually this is a very precise operation. And as you can see, it generated tons and tons and tons of code. And these models are so good now at writing code. This is probably going to work right out of the bat. I can upload this big document about AI in healthcare, and I can ask it summarize the main points of this article and provide clear, actionable insights that I can take away from them as a manager in a medical tech company. And as you can see, it read through this document. It did quite a few things in its thought process, and it's really doing exactly what I asked it. It's summarizing the main points, the core risks that I can manage, and it's really giving me some actionable insights. Put governance on rails, clarify accountability, make clinicians co-design partners. You see, it's giving me really clear recommendations, exactly like I asked it. This is a very classic use case, and really anything that has to do with document analysis, I always recommend using the thinking models. These are very precise operations, and you're usually willing to wait a little bit to get kind of a really crisp answer. So let's recap. We have two models, the instant model or the fast models that give you kind of this quick, real-time, interactive experience with the AI models, and the thinking ones, which are much more precise. Now, a few notes on this auto mode. I disrecommend using the auto mode, even though it's the default usually inside ChatGPT and other platforms, and it's really all you have access to if you have the free plan. I disrecommend this because what it's going to try to do is figure out how difficult your question is and then route you to the relevant AI model. However, even if you do have a problem that requires precision, that would probably require a thinking model, these thinking models are much more expensive for the AI providers to run and for the AI providers to give you. They consume a lot of electricity, a lot of time, and a lot of money for these AI providers. So they have a financial incentive to give you the fast models rather than the thinking ones, even though you might need a thinking model. That said, you still can unlock the thinking modes if you prompt them correctly. use words like thinking or this is a very hard problem, this is kind of how you can tweak your prompt to get OpenAI to give you access to these more premium thinking models. So that's it for this time. Hope this video was useful for you. And as always, have an awesome day.